And now, the Kill or Be Killed podcast with Damian Ross, founder and master instructor of the Self-Defense Company.
And we are live. What's going on, my man?
Not too much. I'm just waiting to hear stories. I know you were in Chicago, so I'm excited.
Yeah,
you're still alive, right? You're looking good, so that's a good thing.
Dude, we're in Hyde Park. That's where my son had a prospect basketball camp for U Chicago, and we've been to a bunch of these things so far. I will say that Coach McGrath and his staff took the time to meet with every one of the kids.
Okay.
So at least he met with them and he got to know their names. So he, gave a shit about them. I mean, a lot of these other camps were, there's probably about 80 kids over 2 days that went through this camp. I mean, we were there on the second day on Sunday. So it takes a little bit of an effort to do that. But the way that he set this up was, first he framed how he wanted the games to go when they were playing. So there were specific things like when you get a defensive rebound, you immediately have to pass it. You can't take down the court. If you take the ball across court, you have to pass it. No picks, nothing, just to kind of get everyone involved and take the pressure off guys trying to show off and ball hog. So it took the pressure off my son, who actually did real well, because, now he's like, okay, I can just play. And that's what they were kind of looking for. I mean, I've been to these other camps where there'll be some of them have, more kids. It's really kind of impersonal, even if they're the same size programs. You don't like the kids feel like they're like, okay, here I am. And if I don't, if I'm not like putting the ball between my legs and like hitting every 3-pointer, or throwing it down, like I'm not going to get noticed. So
yeah, if I'm not a fucking Harlem Globetrotter, then
yeah. And what you're really looking for is, a guy who's a good team player, can do the job, can obviously have all the skills, but take direction, and also is a fit for your team. I mean, it would be a lot easier. I mean, basketball is a pretty tough sport to get recruited for because there's a lot less bodies.
So is this like for recruiting for colleges and universities?
College.
Okay.
Yes, college. Yeah. So we're looking at like academic D3s or D2s, but really we like those academic D3s like U Chicago, Emory, Tufts. There's these schools that are played decent basketball, but at the end of the day, he's not going to the NBA. He's gonna get a career. So, I mean, my big thing is like, is trading your sports for an education. So the schools that are, I mean, he does well in school. He's high honors. It's like his freshman year, he was like a B student, and then it was like a sophomore and junior year, he kicked it in.
Yeah.
So it's like you want to be able to, he's not, if you don't have sports and you're trying to get in these schools, it's damn near impossible unless you're like a 4.3 and you have like 1,600 on your SATs. I mean, it's ridiculous. But these, if you have sports, you're more of a well-rounded person, and you're obviously spending a lot of your time perfecting your craft. I mean, the reality is, these kids that are doing this are studying, obviously going to school, studying, and then training, not just for practice and in season. He does lifts, he does shooting, he's got his AAU team. So there's like another hour, 2 hours a day, at least, after school, where he's training in addition to practice. So, it's a lot, and they take that into consideration. And really, when you have some kids, I mean, if you're just a student, you're not, while we're thinking about trying to get into school, we're not, I'm really trying to make well-rounded individuals.
Yeah.
Like my daughter, is very much into acting and theater, and she's at Cal Arts now, but in addition to having, being on National Honor Society and, having that 4.0 GPA, she was very passionate about something else other than
She is
school.
passionate about toothbrushes.
Yes. Exactly. So being out in Chicago, again, we were in Hyde Park. It's like it's a community that's had its ups and downs, but for the most part, it's generally nice. There are a couple sections, but it's funny. We went to one of my nephew is a graduate from U Chicago, so he's like, you got to go to Harold's Chicken, which was great. But again, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, dude, they had perch, they had chicken livers. I mean, I love all that shit, man. And it was as local can get. It was funny. I think we bought like a whole shitload of food. It was like $25.
That's awesome.
And granted to say, like, me and my son we're basically, let's just say we're the whitest people in there. It was great. I mean,
what was it, like Harold's Chicken and Waffles, or what was? Let's give a shout out to Harold's.
Yeah, Harold's, man, it was great, dude. I was like, okay, very impressed. I was like, whatever. Again, obviously, it was cool. I mean, it's whatever, dude. It's like people are people, but it was funny because I'm like we walked in. He's like, hey, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, this is what this is, dude. But again, and then we got, of course, like Chicago deep dish pizza, which I'm gonna tell you, I'm like, it was fine. I don't mind it, but at the end, the crust is like a pie crust.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's not, dude. I'm from Jersey, right? We got thin crust all the way. I mean, that's how we roll.
Yeah.
And the thick crust, it's more of like a casserole.
Oh,
it's got like cheese, meat. It's good, dude. It's like, stacked.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the crust at the end is it's like, it's very thick.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I liked it, but I don't crave it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm saying like, oh, I wish I could get Chicago pizza. It's like, no, it's like just like, it's like having lasagna or something.
Yeah, not like Harold's, which you're like fucking craving right now.
Harold's is freaking great, dude. Harold's is great. Yeah, shout out to Harold's. So speaking of Chicago, there is a rash of I want to say it's a rash of carjackings because it's going on a lot. Where is it? Here it is. Okay.
Now, before you get into the carjackings and everything, though, did you see anything that was kind of questionable when you were there?
No. I mean,
No?
I mean, look, you're like in different neighborhoods and they're different areas. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, who, some people may have looked like they were like a little strung out a little bit, but for the most part, it's just like, that's what you see in like any city.
Exactly.
There was nobody that was like really clocking us. I just, I was just trying to, going about their business. So we didn't run into anything like that. Didn't even hear about it. I mean, there was nothing, like you can get these crime updates anyway. So when I go to a new city, you could just say, even just Google, like check crime in my area. I think they all come from the same feed. So you can get kind of like up to the minute, hour reports of, violence in your area. And you're really concerned with like shootings and things like that. If there's like theft or robbery or assault, like that shit usually or vandalism, unless there's a lot of it in a certain area, for the most part, I just don't, think about it.
Now for everybody who's watching, who's seen your awareness videos, did you wear that spiffy outfit when you were in Chicago?
Nice. Almost.
Because you probably would have got your ass kicked for that there.
Right, exactly. I did have body armor with me, that's for sure. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, no, I did not.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, so douche. So
everybody's gonna go back and watch those fucking awareness videos now.
Hey man, you want to blend, man. You want to look like nobody.
That's right.
I'm just saying, you don't want to draw attention. You don't want to, you just want to blend into the crowd.
Yeah.
People, they don't remember, and you want to be forgettable. One of the techniques is just, if you don't want people to know what what you really do and what you're about, just ask questions about them, because everybody loves talking about themselves.
Tell me again how you blended into fucking Harold's.
Well, I think they probably think I'm a cop, but then I had my knucklehead with me. So yeah, I mean, but there are students that go there. There are other kids of our same complexion that were there.
I was gonna think, you know what it reminds me of? I don't know if you've ever watched the old 2.5 Men with Charlie Sheen.
Yes, of course.
So do you remember when he took Jake into that fucking chicken restaurant, and everybody there was black, right? And they're white.
Black. I mean, people are black and people are white. We can say that.
Yeah, I think we can say that. And then all of a sudden, he's fucking yelling at Jake, and all of them turn and like look at him. I'm just kind of picturing you like that.
Right. Right. Oh man. I said it was cool. I said again, it was all cool. It was whatever. It was a chicken place. But yeah, it's funny because I've never, with my son, I think, even the hot dog place in Patterson, it was definitely, I think that was the first time, like, me with him, out in a non-predominantly white neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah. So anyway, shout out to Harold's. It was awesome.
Everybody's gonna be fucking Harold's is gonna be getting a lot of fucking visits.
Yeah, it was fine. Harold's was good, dude. Harold's was good. Okay, so speaking of Chicago, here we have from Eyewitness News. There's a carjackings going on. Let's just take a listen.
Ravi and Judy, police say the same vehicle was used in all the crimes that occurred just one after the other, including two down the street from this police station. It all began around 1 o'clock in the morning on the west side, where the victim was shot. A Cadillac sedan is parked between the pumps at the Citgo gas station in the 200 block of Northwest when a dark vehicle pulls up. Surveillance video shows three people jump out surrounding the Cadillac. One assailant goes to the driver's side, the other opens the passenger door, and a third comes out with his gun drawn. We froze the video before the suspect pulled the trigger. Police say after the 46-year-old male victim refused to give up his car, he was shot in the groin and thigh. His attackers got away. About an hour after the Citgo shooting, a 39-year-old man crashed his car after trying to flee 4 robbers near Roosevelt and Canal. Between the overnight hours of 1 and 4 a.m., police say there were 12 similar incidents in 5 different police districts, several on the north side, including 2 on North Larrabee, right down the street from the 18th Police District Station. All follow a pattern, robbing people who were parked in their cars. Some victims were not only robbed, but beaten.
Robbery is one of the categories where obviously carjacking is a subset of robbery category that is up to way too high.
Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown says the department plans in the near future to focus on robberies using the same type of cutting-edge technology used to reduce shootings and homicides.
We want to try and use some of that skill set for robbery and motor vehicle theft. And we'll have more to come on that.
Okay.
So I don't know if you were getting the feedback where it was really, really echoing. Is that how you're hearing it too?
No. I can turn the volume down. I should have my earphones on anyway.
So from my end, it was sounding very, very echoey. And at one point, it was awesome because the sergeant is talking and he's like, robbery, right? And I'm just like,
oh, it's like Max Headroom from back in the day. So, first of all, let's look at. I don't know why. Let me just roll back here. I don't know why this guy, the incident where, first one where the guy is, parked in between the pumps here. I don't know why, I I don't know why this is. You're parked here. Your doors aren't locked. You're seeing, you're not paying attention to your surroundings, right? So, I mean, you got to be on high alert if you're any place, really. I mean,
the only thing that I could think of if he's kind of parked there was I noticed that there was a convenience store, so maybe they just kind of parked in between the pumps to fucking run in and grab a slushie or some shit, right? But
right, so somebody could have been running in to go get something. Again, you got to lock your doors, right? So when you're waiting and you're watching, and you got to pay attention. You can't be sitting on your phone doing whatever shit. So, I mean, the car rolls up. No, we don't want that. Where are we? Okay. Let me just back up a little bit. Okay, good. Car rolls up, right? Can't really see it. Again, this is not suspect. Maybe the person's just pulling forward to the pump. You really don't know, but you should be watching them. Okay, now they get out, and now they're coming towards you. At this point, a lot of people will think, no one can be lost. No one can be looking for directions because everyone's got a phone with GPS on it.
Exactly.
So at this point, regardless of, your perception of, you don't want to look racist or whatever, I don't care what color this person is coming out of the car. You got to start thinking about, okay, what if I have to bail out? What does behind me look like? Right? Because they blocked you, because they blocked them in. So it's easiest just to go forward. It's harder to go backwards. So he's coming in, and immediately, as soon as he's trying to open the door, get the hell out.
Yeah.
Right now, if you got somebody that's in there, it's a problem because now you're abandoning somebody, but at least you can pull out, back up, call 911, and get the cavalry coming. Okay, so doors open, and then the passenger side being open again. Lock your doors.
Yeah, but I mean, by now he's more than screwed. So the fact that he, kind of resisted and didn't give up the vehicle was a little bit, I get it, but it was stupid.
Right. I mean, that's an option.
Yeah. Now it cut out. Did they say he got shot in the groin?
Yeah.
And died?
No.
Okay.
No. So yeah, it's fine, right? I mean, groin is such a vague area, but we all know what that means.
Yes.
Oh, poor bastard. So if you're not going to give up your car, you've got to take some actions away. Even if you're driving, if you decide to pull out with your doors open, these guys are fucked. Right? Yeah. Your door's gonna hit them. You're gonna get problems. So in order for this guy to shoot him, he's got to have a clear shot to hit him in the groin. So this guy's the shooter's got to come to the passenger side door and shoot in the window or in the door.
Yeah.
Doorway. All right. So they obviously didn't get the car. They took off. And the fact that there's, 20 something of these similar incidences going on. I don't know what their plan is to prevent these things using whatever technology. There is nothing that's going to stop you or save you from somebody who's trying to jack your car.
That's right.
You either make a choice. You either get the hell out of there or give up the vehicle. Right. And by the way, like Chicago, I guess that shooter didn't get the memo that about the strict gun laws.
No, clearly not.
Right. So again, a concealed carry situation, driver's armed. Here's the thing. So you've got, again, this guy's armed. He's got at least more of a fighting chance to survive and win, if you will.
Yeah.
If you, let's say, your wife or your kid is like, going into the convenience store to grab something and you're sitting there waiting for him and some guy comes up to jack your car. right? I'm like, and then your kid comes out. I'm like, you're putting so many people in harm, so many people now in harm's way, and you can't leave, right? Where are you going to leave your, it's like, look, I was just out there with my 17-year-old son. He runs in the store. He's a big kid. He goes in the store to go get something. I'm like, okay, I'll wait here. I'll be right back. And, you got this shit going on. I'm not leaving my kid.
Right.
So what are your options? Give up the car, yeah, but that's, now I've got to forfeit my property, deal with insurance, and, hope that I get reimbursed for, what I get for the car. Now I'm without a vehicle. And now, it's all because some piece of shit wants to steal my car.
Exactly.
Right. So, it shouldn't be, we've got this, we're building this like submissive attitude in the general public. And I get it. General public, they're going to give over their car. That's fine, but you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't tell me I should have to surrender my vehicle, my property, or endanger the life of, my loved ones.
Exactly.
So, I look at this shit and you're like, okay, so this is what we want. I mean, and the cops are, what are they going to do? They're not there. It happens in seconds. They respond in minutes. So, you've got, people like again, they project and they think like, reasonably, right? Well, that dude shot that guy for resisting and left.
Yep.
Right. You would think if he shot him, he would have finally just pulled the guy out and steal the car. But he didn't. So there's no rhyme or reason other than his motive was to shoot the guy in a Cadillac.
Yeah.
Right. So, I don't understand why, you would think that, just even acquiescing and submitting and giving, because what happens is it's like you give somebody, hey, give them an inch, they take a mile, right? So I give you, like, you're like, okay, give me your wallet. I'm like, okay, here's my wallet. All right, well, give me your car keys. Okay, no, I want you to drive me here. They'll take, pieces and pieces and pieces until there's nothing more to take.
Yeah.
Right. And there's nothing deterring these guys. Like, holy shit. 12, 20, how many similar instances happened
And notice
that weekend?
Notice right from the start, it said it happened all within a very close proximity to the police station there too.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care because we've sent clear signals that, they're not going to get prosecuted for this shit. Or they're not going to, they're not going to get whatever. I mean, there may be a chance they're going to run the plate and find these guys, but it doesn't help you at the point of attack.
Yep.
So look, I said, my body, my choice, right? If I want to defend myself and put myself at risk, allow me to. Just like you would if, pro-life, pro-choice, whatever.
Yeah.
So, allow me to make that choice for me. You don't make that choice for me, right? You want to submit and surrender your shit and put yourself at risk in hopes that this piece of shit shows mercy on you and, is a man of their or woman of their word. That's the other thing. It's like people, will look at this and be like, well, you asked me, I gave it to you. I gave you what you wanted. Yeah, no kidding.
No.
But you're looking at this as a reasonable person, and projecting your values onto someone who clearly doesn't share yours simply by the fact that they're willing to use force to take what you have. And that's something you would never do.
Yep.
Right. You would never, carjack somebody. So
yeah, my moral compass isn't. I'm not out fucking taking people's shoes because hey, I need a new pair of shoes.
Right. So you've got these people that are already broken, and now you're expecting them to be trustworthy. because you said this. You said, hey, you told me, you promised. Yeah, well, guess what? The promise is over.
Yeah.
It's like the hooker with a heart of gold syndrome. I'm like, it's like, oh, well, deep down, she's a good person. Look, I mean, listen, what you do and how you choose to live your life, that's up to you, as long as it doesn't infringe on me and I won't infringe on you. Great. But, you want to sit there and tell me, like, deep down, somebody who is, willing to, participate in criminal activities, that there's a good person somewhere in there. I mean, maybe after years of therapy, and correct rehabilitation, yes, possibly. But at that point in time, ain't going to happen. They don't give a shit about you. They're willing to put you at risk. That's it. They don't care. They're willing to use force, even if it's physical. Even if you push somebody or punch somebody, they hit their head off the concrete, they're done. Happens all the time. So, yeah. So anyway, this didn't happen to us in Chicago.
When you started with the whole, we're going to talk about a carjacking, I'm like, was it yours?
Yeah, no. We just Ubered out there, which is, again, the best invention ever. Oh, I love Uber. Uber's awesome. Awesome. So
you recommend the Chicago Uber system?
Correct. Yeah, it was great. It was great. All right, man. So, yeah, that's it. So anyway, it's your choice, people. And now it's like, again, you've got the knuckleheads that are, they're in New York and New Jersey with the new CCW concealed carry. They're like, oh, you shouldn't have to carry, you can't carry in your car. Really? This is anyway. All right, I'm done. Until next time. Train honestly.